Today's topic will be about how to keep blue skies blue. If we point a camera at the sky and just take an overall average meter reading, that's the exposure that the sky needs to be blue. That same amount of light needs to be on the subject, which means pretty much hard sunlight. I did that with this guy by letting him wear sunglasses because the bright sunlight would cause him to squint. That's not always the case, but in this case it did. During his senior session, I wanted it to look like it was winter even though it was summer. So I got down low to only see the sky, not the green trees in the background. And a cloud passed in front of the sun, making less light on his face for softer light so he wouldn't squint. And that lengthened the shutter speed because with aperture preferred automation, the shutter speed will get longer when there's less light on the subject. So that made the sky a little bit lighter, which is okay. I could have used a polarizer or even a flash to produce more light on him, therefore shortening the shutter speed, but no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted that wintry look, so this isn't bad as is. We can take that even further by, in this case, I turned him away from that light, so the light on his face was quite low, meaning the shutter speed then had to compensate by being longer yet. I work in aperture preferred automation, so the f-stop stays the same, but the shutter speed varies depending on how much light the camera wants to see. Now this looks a little flat, and it's not the most desirable type of image, but it actually was going more in the direction that I wanted it to go. I wanted that sky to be a lighter tone, almost high key. Now technically this isn't a high key image because his outfit is rather dark, but I wanted it again to have a light winter feeling. This is okay, but all it takes is a little fixing to get it there. And this is the Photoshop treatment I gave it. I basically gave it a vignette, a high-key vignette, which is the opposite of a low-key vignette. So I added white and lightened the exposure on everything around him, including the bottom half of his body, which you may or may not like, but I liked the misty feeling, almost like you're on a mountaintop. Now, just as an example of what not to do, I went back to one of the previous images, and then because this was 2003 and we were in digital infancy in those days, I thought, well, we need to give him some kind of filter effect. And this is the abomination that I did for him. Thankfully, he didn't buy it, and a lot of people didn't in those days because they had a better head on their shoulders than we photographers did, who were trying everything just because we could. So anyway, don't do this for people. In general terms, it's best to stick with what is normal exposure and normal developing and rendering and black and white. And that's about it. And we can skip all the other filters because a lot of those are just going to fade as the fad fades.